What's up, everybody? Another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live. Today, I'm super excited. Gentlemen, I've had in the works to get on here for a long time. Nick, the Intricate Explorer, if you don't mind, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you commented on my post and how we kind of got this started.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. We just met on Reddit randomly.
Yeah.
I was looking for some podcasts to hop on. You got a podcast going. I live in a Prius. You're looking for interesting people.
Come on.
Seemed like the stars aligned.
Let's do it. Now, talk to me about the Prius. What color, what year? Are we early Prius days? Are we a little bit later on with maybe a Bluetooth camera? Talk to me.
Yeah, so we're early Prius. We got 07 Prius, gray.
Let's fucking go.
We got like fucking 250,000 miles on it right now.
Come on, Nick.
Along.
Now, was that a hand-me-down? Was that your first car? Was that one of the cars you built up to? Tell me about the build up to the Prius.
Yeah, so I built up to this one. I had a different Prius that was even newer, but that one got totaled, unfortunately, in Wyoming. We hit a deer in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, man.
It's the whole thing. And then this one came along and got this one off Craigslist for like $4,000, fixed it up a little bit, and it's still cranking. I got around like 150,000 miles, and yeah, this thing just keeps going. I literally just got it fixed up the other day. Had a little bit of like oil burning, but you know, it's doing good.
Now, what would you attribute your loyalty to the Prius tribe? What would you attribute that to? Were you a big environmental guy? Was that a big focus early on, or you like the look of it? It's a little controversial, you know. Larry David's trying to bring it to the forefront.
Dude, if I got a Prius just because I wanted like the vibe of a Prius, that would be. I got it because it's super MPG efficient.
All right.
And I wanted a Yeah, dude, I wanted a situation where I could just literally, I had no money in the pocket. I was like waiting tables in Boulder, Colorado. And I'm like, I want to go travel. So I looked up the best way I could do that. And I figured I could go live in a Prius. I found this whole community online that these people live in Priuses.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, dude, on Reddit, if you go to Prius Dwellers,
I'll be there.
Teach you everything you need to know about how to live in a Prius. And yeah, I learned a shit ton on there, built out the Prius. And my goal was to start Lyft and Uber driving while I lived in the Prius in different states. That was my method to make money at the time.
All right,
so I still DoorDash a lot.
Let's go. Now, the amount of ways I can go with this. Last Prius question, I think, and then we'll try to move on to the exploration side. Talk to me about some stickers. Do we got any stickers on the Prius?
No, actually, I don't have any. I have one sticker on it. I just put it on there a couple months ago. It's just a little
Bigfoot
mountain wave thing. I wanted to keep my Prius super on the DL. I didn't want to be like one of those, you know, those cheesy van lifers with like Grand Canyon, Yosemite everywhere. And then you park in a parking lot overnight and everyone knows there's someone sleeping in there. Like you park a Prius in a parking lot overnight, like you just think someone's grandma left it over there overnight. They don't think anyone's in it.
You're just impressing me more and more by the minute, sir. The exploration. Can we talk about what motivated you to want to because just about me, like I am the most like homebody, like haven't traveled a ton. I've never gone on a whim, and I can't tell you the admiration and respect that I have for people like you to just get up and do it. Now, talk to me about what kind of led to you wanting to be like that.
I appreciate that.
I truly mean it, dude.
It's not as impressive as it sounds.
No, dude, you gotta understand, like to be able to just take up and just go somewhere with no safety net, not having parents or family or friends around, you're not giving yourself like that is a huge leap, in my opinion. So kudos to you and talk to me about it.
So what led up to that?
Just kind of what made you want to do that or what led up to it, yeah.
So I was actually living in I was working at an advertising agency for a while. And it was honestly just the most boring job I've ever done in my life. I was just a bitch. I was cleaning up. I was just cleaning up like cocktail parties. Like it was not fun. I did not enjoy it. So I was actually looking for another. Like I was dreaming about van life online, like Googling it, trying to figure out like where I want to go. I'm like
Googling in your dreams.
No, I was just Googling like dreaming about it, like
hell yeah.
Future. And at work. And while I was doing that, they coincidentally called me into the office and fired me. So I was like, oh my God, it's a sign. I have to do this.
Were there any grounds for dismissal or was this just?
It was just some startup and the whole thing was going under. You know, they're firing everybody. It was a long time coming, but you know, I'm not mad about it at all.
No, man, everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah. And at the time I was starting to get into photography. Honestly, just to get girls. I
Well,
I had
your
no.
hair enough, brother. I'm sure that could do the work for you, but a little bit of photography skills that couldn't hurt your cause.
Yeah, I mean, I'd gotten out of a like 4-year relationship, 4.5-year relationship,
Hey, oh,
um, with some chick that I lost my virginity to, and
come on,
I
girl.
thought,
You want to give her a
yeah,
shout out, or
yeah, we thought we were gonna shout out Gary. We thought
come
we were
on,
gonna
girl?
get married, and it just ended up we went open relationship, long distance. It all kind of fell apart.
Whoa,
Um, at that point, my heart was broken, and I was just like, I was talking to my buddies who were a bunch of players, and they're like, "Dude, you got to get a fucking Instagram. Like, this is how you get chicks." So I was like, "All right," like little like naive. Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, let's fucking do it." So that's what got me into photography. It was like I just became obsessed building a dope Instagram account purely just to get girls.
what was
And
your focus on photography in the beginning? Was it like scenic stuff or just
yeah, I mean, I was trying to build like a explorer
okay,
adventure account, like standing off in the distance, all dramatic, shit like that.
dude? Now, how was the success rate early on with these look away photos? Was it pretty high?
It was all right. It was. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really have the best intentions.
Now you know, baby.
So I was just fucking around for the first year or two of it, and then eventually, I kind of got over the heartbreak. I realized like I don't need to spend all my time pursuing chicks.
Oh yeah,
Um, and I actually started to really like the photography. I was like, dude,
nice.
this is like what I actually want to do. Like it was just like that's what made me feel at peace. It like got rid of my anxiety. I was just like you're out in nature, hiking, exercise,
Definitely,
this whole flow of shooting a photo.
for
So
sure.
that's what got
Yeah.
me into thinking about doing the whole travel van life thing. And yeah, that's when the whole
Just
job
to
thing
kind of
happened, and I
help
moved
board the
in.
portfolio, just going around the country, seeing all the different places, combining the traveling with the photography.
Yeah,
Man,
that's literally it.
amazing. So you started off in Colorado, correct?
Yep.
Were you born and
Started off
raised
in
there? Is
Colorado.
that where everything started?
Yep. Castle Rock,
Man,
Colorado. It's like an
fuck,
hour
dude.
south of Denver.
Damn. And
Shout
then,
out Castle Rock.
dude, yeah, my two of my high school friends, one of them lives out in like the Reno, Vegas kind of border, and then my other one lives in Colorado, and I'm planning to do a ski trip out there this winter. And I'm just, I want to live by the mountains one day. It's a dream of mine. So shout out to you, brother, for supporting that mountain life. Where
Where
was
are you at?
I'm originally from New Jersey. Now I'm living in Southwest Florida. I've been here about 5 years now. I'm
Oh, hell
officially
yeah.
one of those Floridian little worms that complains when it's 70 degrees that they're cold. So I never thought I'd get to this point, but unfortunately we're here. So when you started the Prius van life moving around, what was the first state you wanted to go to, or did you want to go north of the border to some of my Canadian friends? Shout out to you, Franny.
Shout out Franny. I do want to go to Canada at some point. I actually only been to Vancouver once for like a half a day.
What a place to be.
But I started off in I'll say the first big trip I did was out to actually the East Coast because I have some family in New Jersey. My mom grew up in Homedale.
Come on now.
If you know
We
where
get a
that is.
bad rap because people watch the fucking Jersey Shore one time. They think that's what we're like. Nah, bitch. We're just fun, energetic people who really care about our deli meats, our pizza, our donuts, and our bagels. So say what you want. And by the way, all Eagles fans aren't assholes. Sorry, Nick. So where specifically it was in New Jersey, and then you kind of started going from there.
Yeah, so I did that trip out to New Jersey. It was kind of like a test ride.
And you drove
Did
from
Pennsylvania.
Colorado to Jersey in the Prius.
Yeah, and that was my whole like let's see how this works out thing. Did
Completely
that, and then I
alone.
went to the opposite coast, and then went out to Washington, Oregon, all that stuff for a couple of weeks.
So you went to Jersey, and then you went all the way back.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. What was your packing like? I mean, obviously you can't put a ton in a Prius, but I'm a notorious overpacker. I'll go to my sister's for 3 days and I'll bring 2 pairs of pants, 6 pairs of shorts, 7 pairs of boxers, 6 socks. I imagine you were pretty minimalist.
Yeah, you basically have to be minimalist.
Amazing.
Like I had so much shit at first that I had in the Prius, and then eventually I just started getting rid of literally everything. Like I have a week's worth of clothes, a camera bag, and a cooler.
All right, now let's
That's
just
about
ask
all
some
I
dumb.
own.
Let's ask them some dumb questions. That's what I specialize in. The clothes. Were you like going to a creek and like dipping them and then hand wringing them, or were you going to like a laundromat on the go? Like, what's our
I
situation?
wish, dude,
There's
that'd be funny. Mainly just laundromats. You know, you can find laundromats everywhere. I actually wanted to do like a photography series of all the weird laundromats in America.
Oh, and the people there. Oh my
Oh
god.
my God. Yeah, you see the
Sign me
weirdest.
up, dude. Seriously. I'm a professional people watcher. Now I just thought of I've never been on a laundromat. What is the clientele there like?
You've never been to a laundromat before?
No, sir. Trust me, like
Shit, dude.
people like you are like a golden goose for me because I'm like, you just have no fear. You go out and do, which is something like I still dream about. Like one day I'll just quit my job and move to the other side of the country. I just don't have the nerve to do it. I love being around family. And I like having that. I don't know. So man, I just can't. I can't get over the courage, and to go from all the way from West Coast to East Coast back to West Coast. What did you notice about the East Coast? Was that anything stick out to you? Like I said, the bread, the donuts, the bagels. You get to treat yourself to any of that?
Bagels for sure. I
Oh,
mean, you guys got those salt bagels out there?
bro,
Okay.
it's all in the water, baby.
And the deli meat. The deli meat's fire.
Capicola and some Brasil, dude. Just come on. No,
Yeah, like
the
Subway is not even like a like.
Oh,
Why would you go to Subway
how
out
dare
there?
you? We don't mention Subway on this podcast, sir.
Do people even have Subway out there?
We sure do. They're nationwide, son. It's funny you say it because the first time I ever got my driver's license, I was one of those fucking idiots who didn't drive until he was like 19. And when I went to go take my license test, I went in the wrong lane, so I failed right away. So I had no confidence as a driver. So I remember when I fully had my driver's license, like there was a Subway like 8 minutes from our house, and the maiden voyage was to be sailed. And I was like begging my brother to come with me because I was so scared to drive because I had no confidence. So this just tells you a little bit about me, dude. You think I'm getting my ass and driving cross country? I couldn't even go to a Subway. So talk to me more about this exploration, man. I'm just curious, like what places you hit along the coast, like, and where were you stopping? How often were you stopping? Were the photography opportunities at a gas station? I'm sure you can make the most of anything, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I just stop literally anywhere. Like, I'll go through phases where I'll work for, a couple weeks, and then I'll go out and then shoot every single day for a couple weeks. So right now I'm in a phase where I'm working a bit, so I'm like kind of set up shop. But
Oh yeah.
when I do go out, I'll just literally anything that's within, an hour, I'll just be like, this is what I'm doing today. And I usually figure it out the day before. I'll just like Google like cool photos, cool spots. I got all these techniques to like figure out how to find a spot that looks cool to photograph. Sometimes you're just like, I guess this is what we're doing today. Like, I don't know what else is around here.
So where are you at right now?
I'm in Colorado right now.
You're back home. Okay. Now, are you still doing the exploration lifestyle? Are you still at a whim's notice? You'll just get up and go back to Jersey?
Yeah. I mean, basically, like I said, I'm trying to film a course right now.
So
Like
talk to me a little bit about that. Yeah.
So I'm basically set up camp I'm at my buddy's place for a month, filming like everything I know about photography. I'm just putting it all in one giant
Oh,
course
nice, man.
list online. But after that, I'm going to take off probably back to the West Coast. I actually just did a huge trip for about 9 months, dipped all the way down to Nicaragua and back.
Holy shit.
So I'm kind of like, I need to chill for a bit. That's why I'm doing this course right now. It was kind of a fucking intense ass trip. So yeah.
I can't even imagine. Like, now you're going to Nicaragua. You don't know anyone there? Is that your first time there? You like
So at that trip, actually, I ended up meeting a girl, and we were dating for a while.
I could see the flicker in your eyes.
Yeah, so we were dating for a while. We're not dating anymore, but we did it in her van. I couldn't do it in my Prius. My Prius is too fucking old for that kind of trip. Yeah. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna break down in fucking Honduras.
No, but the story would have been nice. So, is this these South American tales about these women? Is this true? Like, I work in Florida, obviously selling tools, so I deal with a lot of Latin men, and they tell me, bro, just go down to Costa Rica, anywhere. You being white, that's it. And I'm like, it can't be that easy. Now, I'm not diminishing your looks. You're a very handsome man, but could you notice walking around, you're just like getting a look from everyone just because of the tone?
Yeah, I mean, my girl was with me at the time, so I wasn't like free to just go off of,
So we had a Honduran love triangle going
but
on.
you definitely see the looks especially when you're in the bigger cities. I mean, you want to be in a big city. That's where the cute chicks are. Like if you're in the middle of like rural El Salvador, like
Oh,
there's not many cute chicks walking around.
some real
But if
ones.
you're in like, like the capital, like San Salvador, like in the more like university areas, like there's some
Okay.
gorgeous looking chicks walking around. And one of my buddies actually just went. He was doing Peace Corps in Ecuador for a couple of years, and he just ended up meeting some just absolutely gorgeous chick. And now he's
Get him
married to
on.
her.
Tell him to hit me up. Get him on the podcast. I need to know
He's
a little bit
literally
about the
married
Peace
to her
Corps.
now.
We got to talk Peace Corps. I need to know. That would be interesting to me. So you're how when you went down there, how long were you there for? I mean, you said it was an intense trip. Like what?
So we're below the border for 6 months. So we entered in Tijuana, then drove all the way down to Nicaragua and back, and that was 6 months.
Okay, so you actually drove. I was scared to ask. I'm like, could he drive there? Did he have to fly?
No, yeah, we drove. So we had to cross
Oh,
all those
so
borders.
that
Like,
Prius is international, dog.
oh, that it was in her van. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I thought you took the Prius there and then did your deed in her van. I
No,
guess I'm all.
I met her before the trip, and then we moved into her van for the trip.
Holy shit. Man,
Yeah,
you really put your eggs in that basket, dog. Leaving the Prius behind, the thing that's got you to that point.
I know, dude. It was
That
so
hurts me a little
sad.
bit.
I was almost fucking like, dude. I was looking at that Prius when I was leaving. I was like, God damn, I
Now,
love that thing. I think I'm
did
gonna
we have a
miss it.
little a reunion tour with the Prius?
Yeah, I'm back in it.
Come on.
So
Now, what's our venture? Give me your next. If you can, I don't. You seem like the kind of guy who's kind of spur of the moment, But do you have any plans specifically on where you're going next and what you want to do there? Or?
I kind of want to go after I finish this course. I kind of want to head back to the West Coast just because I got some buddies out there, and it's just such a chill place. But I want to do another international trip. I want to do something like I'm thinking Southeast Asia. If I could buy like a moped or something and then just hostel hop for a couple months, that would be just fucking so fun. Just eat pho every day.
I just like. I wish people understood how bad like I want to do something like that, even if
You
it's for
should do it,
6 months
man.
or something. But and one of my friends who I just had on a couple weeks ago, he just was getting ready to go to England and Ireland and Scotland, and he's in the tour. He does all that shit, and I'm like, bro, I want to do it so bad, but I'm like, it just scares the shit out of me. Like, I'm one of those people like I like trying new things and taking risks, but I'm like I also kind of like a normal like I'm settling into a job now. It's a pretty set schedule every day. You know what to kind of get, and
Yeah.
I don't know, just the nerves of the unknown, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever travel on vacation for like 2 weeks, whatever?
Nah, man, I'll go 3, 4 days at a time, usually 6, 7 days at the most. But like, I've never left the country. So I'm dying to do something like that. I'm just like I said, the fear of the unknown and everything, and that's probably what's the best part about it. Like you
Yeah.
go, you don't plan anything. You just literally go with a bag and just start.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You
Trust me,
just figure it out. I'm not gonna lie, dude. When we first drove into Mexico, like the first day, because I hadn't been to anywhere in Central America before that. We drove into Mexico that first day when I was sleeping in the van in some campsite. I was like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, I'm not gonna be back in America for 6 months. Like, I'm in this foreign third world country. Like, holy fuck! Like, where am I right now?
now
And
do
I
you got
was
any?
legitimately freaking out. And then you kind of settle into it. But
Yeah, for sure. What's like a? Can you think of any wild stories specifically when you were in Mexico that had like any cartel run-ins or anything, something crazy?
yeah, dude, there's just always dumb shit happening. Like trying to think when we were in like lower Mexico, there's this place called Chiapas, and there was a revolution there. Uh, I want to say like a couple of years ago. It might have been more, but they're still kind of coming out of it. And
Okay.
one thing that they used to do all the time and still do is they'll just randomly block the road. So you'll be driving, and then there'll be just people that just pop up on the sides of the road, and they'll be holding a rope across the road, and they want you to stop, and then
Is
they'll
that
let the rope
Antifa?
down when they pay you. No, they're just random ass people who like don't have money, and they're like, "We're stopping you." So it happened to us a couple times. We just fucking drove
Oh,
right through the rope. We're like,
fuck.
fuck it.
Is
Like
that like a carjacking setup or what's the goal there? Like they
they're
just
just trying to like extort money out of you. And then eventually we got to a spot where there was like literally they had nails in the ground, like in pieces of wood, so
Oh
you
my.
couldn't pass through it. So we roll up to this spot, and I want to say like 20 or 30 dudes just like come out of the side, and they're like holding baseball bats and shit, and they're like basically just
What
asking us
the
for money. Like, what do you have? Like, give us what you got. And we saw it coming, like from far away. So we're like, fuck. So we just started hiding all of our like valuables and wallets and shit. And then when they
Oh
rolled up, we told them
man.
we only had a couple bucks. We're like, we only have like $5 US dollars. And they just kept demanding. They're like, more, more. Like, we know you have more. They wanted 30 US
Was there a
dollars.
big language barrier
This
here?
isn't a lot. What?
I mean, I was like, is there a big language barrier because you speak a little bit of Spanish? Or I mean, I know money's pretty basic, but I'm just curious, how were you able to get out of that with a lack of Spanish speaking? Or
We could speak basic Spanish. Like we're not fluent, but we can have like a small talk conversation with somebody.
same here.
So we just honestly just kept saying we don't have money, we don't have money. And then eventually they after a couple minutes they're just like, all right, fuck it, just go. And they let us by.
So did they like pick up their planks with nails in them?
But yeah, they all picked them up and all moved out of the way.
So it's like a fucking drawbridge, a cartel drawbridge.
Basically, I mean, I don't know if it was the cartel. I think it
You
was
know
just
what I
like a
mean?
random village that's just really poor, and they're just trying to get money out of everyone that's driving through it.
Now, were you staying in like pretty obscure, off the grid spots to be able to drive through little villages like this? I imagine, or
Yeah, sometimes it would depend on the day. I'd say 75% of the time we weren't in like civilization. We were, you know, parked on the side of the road at gas stations. Like you just roll up to a gas station and there's overnight security there because everyone is robbing everybody. So there's fucking guys with shotguns guarding the place. Like literally every place especially in places like El Salvador, every business has a dude with a shotgun. So you walk up to that dude and you're like, "Hey, can you just watch my car for the night? We'll give you some fucking cookies and a couple bucks." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So then they just watch your car
because
overnight
they're
while
doing
you're
it anyway. I mean,
yeah, they'll take an extra couple bucks and keep you safe. So
what's the go-to cookie when you're supplying these men?
chocolate chip always.
Can never go wrong. Do they
Yeah.
have certain like brands in Mexico that they're fond of, or are you exporting them from America perhaps for a little Chips Ahoy or something? Or do they have those in Mexico?
Yeah, there's some places with Chips Ahoy. I can't remember the cookie brands. They were like Spanish names, but we would it just changes everywhere you go.
I
Dude, one thing
guess.
we couldn't find was bagels. I was missing
Oh,
bagels so badly.
what
I
are we? A
because
cream
I
cheese
used
or
to
a
eat
butter
them
guy,
every
or
single day.
what's
Cream
your
cheese
go?
for sure.
Philadelphia or death, right?
Yeah, cream cheese and an everything bagel.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Um, as far as the photography, are there any places that stand out as far as being the best to shoot at, the most fun? I mean, there's so many ways I can go off of that, but
Honestly, let's see.
like
I really like.
mountains, beaches, mountains with water. Like, do you have a certain setup you like the most? You know what I mean? Like an ideal backdrop, or
Yeah, well, since I grew up in Colorado, honestly, like anything mountains
oh
and
yeah.
super dry, I'm not a fan of just because I grew up
Oh,
here.
okay,
So
yeah.
when I go to places like Louisiana where it's just like swamps and like
Yo,
vegetation, I'm like, this is sick. Like this is what I want to be shooting. So really like
Louisiana
places
is
that have a lot of vegetation, I really like.
okay. You been to Iowa?
Iowa. I've driven through it. I don't think I've ever gone there
Check
for
out some Des
photography though.
Moines, baby. You would love it. Nothing but cornfields and open land. Back in the day, my brother and I, we grew up doing like Olympic style weightlifting, and we would travel all over just doing that. Was like, intricate explorer, Mr. National,
But
young
yeah,
boy. I was traveling around and we would go to competitions and stuff, and we went to Des Moines one time, and it was just, it was, it
nothing.
was, it was bare. Yeah, it was rough.
Dude, you can find shit to do out there if you look hard enough. I remember one time I was trying to do a photo shoot at this like cornfield, and there was all these what are they called?
Windmills.
Yeah, wind, I can't think of the name.
All right, I was
There
like,
are
he's doing the
windmills
motion.
everywhere. So I was like, I was just bored. I'm like, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna try and fly my drone through the windmill like while it's spinning.
Come
And
on,
I got this like stick shot of it just going like right through it, barely misses a propeller.
really?
Yeah.
So is that how you're capturing? Is that your primary source of photos now? Is drone?
No, it's just mainly if if you're in a place where there's like not a lot, like you can go up and then look straight down. So like
So
cornfields,
sick,
like it's
man.
good for that kind of shot. because there's nothing like dynamic happening.
Sure. You
So
got like one of
I'll
the
bring it
real.
out in situations where I'm not sure what to get a photo of.
You got one of the pretty high end ones with the high def cameras on there.
I actually don't. I have a super
Really?
cheap one. I have like a Mavic Mini. It's like $200, and mainly because I do a lot of dumb shit, like try and fly
Sure.
it through windows.
That's what I was gonna ask you about. Like, where's the risk reward when you're using $1,000 drone? You know what I mean? Where's the
Yeah,
line?
like I have a couple buddies who have like the $2,000-3,000 cinematic ones, and like they won't take it above water. They'll barely bring it out if it's too windy. They just miss so many opportunities because they don't want to, understandably
Yeah.
lose a $3,000 drone. So I just bring out my Mini everywhere. I'm like, fuck it, dude, let's go. And
So do
honestly,
you
like I've never had it crash. Like it just keeps going.
and do you mount your own camera on there? Or does that come with the camera installed on that?
They come with cameras on them.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I did a little bit of drone dabbling back in the day. I got like a $70 one, and a wind gust would blow, and this shit would get fucking stuck in a tree or something. I'm like, they're so fun, but they're so frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what did I just had
It's
something.
always when you're trying to show it off to people too. That's when they go away.
I
Like I'll be like,
remember.
dude, check out my drone, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden the wind takes off and I'm running down the block trying to get it.
that's exactly it. You can't use the drone a lot when you're down internationally, down in Mexico and
A
Honduras.
little bit. Honestly, not as much as I was expecting. It's actually illegal to even have a drone in Nicaragua. So we had to like sneak it into the country. Like we put it in our wheel well because they
You
literally fucking
are
X-ray your van. Like they
man.
bring you through a giant X-ray machine because they're looking for drugs and shit. And somehow they didn't find the.
Do you have a pit in your stomach the whole time when they were doing that, just waiting to get caught?
Yeah, I
You know
was
what
like,
that's like when you're trying to like smuggle shit, or you think it's.
yeah.
Oh my god, like going through the airport, dude. I coming back last week, I got flagged for something, and I was already running late as it is, and I was just so nervous, and I was like, I have nothing on me. There's nothing to be worried about, nothing. And then it was a fucking pecan barbecue rub for my pulled pork that my sister packed for me. I'm like, the littlest things get flagged, and they just, that feeling that when security's going through your shit, you just have that knot in your stomach, just uneasiness.
Yeah.
Add
I
off
used
the
to do
top.
so much. I used to do so much acid and shrooms and shit in college, and I'd always be scared there was like a tab just like in my pocket that I left there or something.
Thank you. I'm not the only one. Yeah, one of my buddies. It's funny because I've been doing a little bit more shrooms recently. I did them a couple weeks ago because one of my buddies has never really done a good trip. He's only tried zero point 0.7, and then he went to like 2.5. So I was there to kind of be his Sherpa, if you will, and I just love it, man. They still have a stigma with some people thinking you're like a crazy person for doing them. I just enjoy them. They're fun, and my one buddy bought me like this big mushroom backdrop thing to hang behind me. That's gonna be my little backdrop for the studio. Pretty dope.
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
You ever get some photography done when you were tripping, or was that before your passion for photography was born?
Yeah, that was before.
Okay.
Honestly, I burnt out of that shit because I did it. There
Oh,
was
you were
one
doing
year
that.
where I swear, like every 2 weeks, I was redosing.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
the tolerance lasts 2 weeks. Then I would just like right when it's all gone, I just boom right back up.
And that was LSD or the combination?
Mainly LSD, but I
Okay.
did shrooms a little bit. I got
Yeah, I've
some
only done
weird
LSD
search
once.
chemicals. Like we were going fucking
Chemicals. Say that again. I couldn't hear it. I'm interested.
yeah. So you could find things online. They call them research chemicals, and basically
Oh,
it's like the same molecule structure as like shrooms or LSD, but it's like one or two molecules different. So technically, you can buy it legally online under the implication that you're gonna research it for scientific purposes,
these
and then
Prius drivers,
obviously
guys, they're out of control.
we just eat it. But yeah, so we would try like all sorts of weird shit.
See,
Um,
that's interesting because I've heard a couple people talk about the burnouts with LSD, and I feel like I'm not doing shrooms every weekend or every 2 weekends. It's more like I did them 1 month and I did them twice 2 months later. But I've never really heard. I'm never gonna do them every weekend, but I've never really heard the burnout on the shroom side. So I'm kind of curious about that myself because I've only done LSD once. Cool, but just has a whole different feeling from shrooms. I feel.
yeah, I think the burnout for me was mainly just I had too many like trips where I was just like, this is intense as fuck. Like I reevaluating your whole life, and I'm like, I gotta slow down on this. I started getting like panic attacks all the time.
Yeah,
Like I'm
no.
like, I need to just stop. So I just
That's my
completely
thing. When
cut
it's
it.
not enjoyable, like the last time I did it, dude, I wasn't like tripping like crazy. I was just having an amazing high with a little bit of visuals, and I just felt so good and happy the whole time. So I'm like, the minute it's just not the least enjoyable, I'll completely cut it out. But while it's fun, you travel, I eat psychedelics.
Yeah, he's travel inwards.
I
But
love
yeah,
it.
man, that's the way to do it. Every couple months, like, yeah.
For me, it's just like I said, it's fun. I got a good bulk of it at one time, so I'm just holding on and nibbling my kibble as I go. Um,
Yeah.
how's the food situation on the traveling for you? Is that like we doing gas stations? We doing a lot of fast food? Or you like canned food?
So I eat. Have you ever heard of Soylent or Huel?
Sure haven't.
This is gonna be fun. So it's basically powdered food. It's like
Oh,
100%
mama!
100% nutritionally sound food. You could completely live off it.
Sure.
Like the owner of Soylent lived off it for a year or two before he even released the product. But I eat that for like 75% of my meals for the day, and then usually one meal a day I'll just eat out wherever I want. So I'll get like Chipotle or Chinese food, Mediterranean, whatever I'm feeling.
All right. Now, this next topic to go off that is going to anger my brother mainly, but you brought up Chinese food and Chipotle. I just thought it was necessary. Are you a sensitive tummy kind of guy? Do you ever have the luxury of using a travel bidet or potentially a nice bidet on the go?
I
I bring this
have
up during
used
every
bidets,
episode, so
and I love bidets, but
let's
I
go.
don't. I don't have a travel bidet. That would be
I
dope.
just bought one on Amazon. They were literally $19.99 on deal today. Because, dude, I was just at my sister's for a weekend, and I was having like these weird feelings in my stomach, and I'm like, I think I'm getting to the point now where like I can't shit comfortably if I don't have a bidet. It's so pathetic, and I hate myself. Trust me. And it's embarrassing that someone as interesting you, I still found a way to bring it up.
Yeah.
So the Soylent, how'd you discover that? Was that when you were on the Prius Dwellers page, right?
No, actually, I've known about Soylent for years and years. I've always been like really utilitarian. So like, how can I be the most efficient with everything that I do?
Amazing.
So in terms of like food that you literally just add water to, it just saves the hassle. Dishes, grocery shopping, cooking, so much time. So you just, pop it in, boom, don't have to worry about eating.
Would
Which
you
for
go
me is
like
great.
in Mexico? Would you go to grocery stores and buy like 24 packs of water bottles, or like because I've obviously heard about the water in Mexico, so you have to be kind of vigilant with that.
Yeah. So in our van, we had a container we could fill up water. So we would just go to, they
Damn.
have these places where you can get purified water by the 5-gallon container. And we would just funnel it into our van. It's all purified.
Fuck yeah. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
But
a
I mean,
huge
dude,
water
I
drinker,
definitely
so
got sick multiple times
oh,
just in the food. Like,
just real bad
holy.
throwing up or out both ends, and
Whenever I get food poisoning, I don't really throw up. I just get really bad diarrhea and like cramping everywhere. So there
every
was
Monday
one
morning
day,
for me.
yeah, every morning after Jack in the Box.
Yes.
And there was one day where I was in the desert, dude, and we were in the middle of fucking nowhere in Baja, California. And I just like kept having to go out of the van. It's
Oh.
boiling hot and just shit on these cactuses that are everywhere.
Oh.
Like you just like bend over and put your hand in a fucking needle. I'm like, dude, and that was at the start of the trip. I'm like, is this gonna be the rest of the trip?
Yeah,
Like
seriously.
this is
Dude, I wish I could channel a little bit of you and me. But Nick, we're definitely doing this again, buddy. We're under a minute here, so I just want to give this a chance for people to check out your website, your Instagram, just promote some of your stuff real quick, bud.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Intricate Explorer, website at Intricate Explorer. That's where you can check out these classes that are going to come out pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
YouTube, I'll probably kicking up again in a couple months, but right now I'm taking a break from YouTube.
Awesome, dude. Well, it was beyond a pleasure to have you on, and I'm gonna try to not hit you up too soon, but I definitely want you back on soon, buddy.
Yeah, man, let's do it again. I can give you my buddy's name too, of the guy in Peace Corps. If you want to.
I just followed you on Instagram, so I'll message you and message me that back over. Thank you all for listening. Cool. Nick, thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it. Had a good time.
Hell yeah, dude.